What's good, y'all? I'm Jerry, about to check out 10 WWE pay-per-views that absolutely peaked with the opening wrestling match. This video is by WrestleMania. I know for a fact, I don't know if it's going to be on this list, but the triple threat match between Seth Rollins, John Cena, and Brock Lesnar that kicked off the 2015 Royal Rumble match kind of set stone, was like the best, one of the best triple threat matches. My second favorite triple threat match in particular, the first one would be The Rock, Undertaker, and Kurt Angle from Vince in 2002. But this particular triple threat match kind of was like, made it the best, one of the best ones ever, and they kind of set off the 2015 Royal Rumble pay-per-view and took it to new heights, and man, and just kind of made the pay-per-view what it was. So we about to hop into this video. Let's go.
The opening match of a WWE Premium Live event should get the event off to a hot start. This match should traditionally be fast-paced and a warm introduction to what should be an exciting, thrilling and satisfying show for viewers. However, WWE have had a habit throughout their decorated history of putting the show stealer on first. The talents who have gone first have put on a classic matchup, and as a consequence, everything that comes after the opening match has paled in comparison.
Yeah, 2015 jump because Roman Reigns became the Royal Rumble winner that year, and he got booed out the building.
Be sure to subscribe and hit that
Even The Rock can
bell
save
for
him.
daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out WrestleMania.co.uk and an on-wrestling channel. Incredible!
Number 10.
10, Hell in a Cell 2020.
Roman Reigns versus Jey
Upon
Uso.
turning heel in
That was
the
the first
summer
match of the night.
2020, Roman Reigns' first opponent would be his cousin Jey Uso. On paper, the idea of Jey being a viable threat to Reigns and his Universal title seemed questionable, but WWE executed the storyline to perfection. The payoff to the storyline was a Hell in a Cell showdown, and the two men put on a classic matchup. The match was storyline driven, and it was simply a work of art. It was WWE at its very best. And the crazy thing was, the match took place in front of 0 fans, as this was during the COVID-19 pandemic.
That was the first match of the night.
The match was also an appropriate use of the Hell in a Cell structure, as the confines of the cell helped sell the emotional torment that both wrestlers were going through. The match would steal the entire pay-per-view, and whilst the other Hell in a Cell matches on the card, such as Bayley vs Sasha Banks and Orton vs Drew McIntyre, were good, they failed to match the impact of what Reigns and Uso delivered inside the structure. Number 9, Survivor Series 2013. The 2013 edition of Survivor Series event was a massive disappointment. The main event of the show featured Randy Orton defending the title against The Big Show. This match would be a total waste of time, as nobody was interested in the match, and the match quality wasn't reflective of a pay-per-view main event slot. The highlight of the entire event came with the opening match, as WWE presented a traditional Survivor Series match, which showcased how special the rest of Roman Reigns would go on to become. The Shield would team with the Real Americans to take on the all-star team of the Usos, Rey Mysterio, Cody Rhodes, and Goldust. The finish would see Reigns win the match for his team as a sole survivor, and this was a clear indication that WWE, specifically Vince McMahon, saw Reigns as the next big thing, even back in 2013. The match was a hell of a ride, and an incredibly entertaining 23 minutes. The fans loved the action, and it was a shame that the rest of the pay-per-view couldn't match the quality on display by 10 of the aforementioned talents. Number 8, TLC 2014. In 2014, WWE attempted to do something new and unique with the TLC pay-per-view event. Tables, ladders, and chairs would become tables, ladders, chairs, and stairs. Whilst WWE trying something fresh was appreciated, the new concept simply didn't work, as their stairs between The Big Show and Eric Rowan was one of the worst matches of 2014. The rest of the pay-per-view wasn't much better, and it didn't help that there was no WWE title match, as reigning champion Brock Lesnar wasn't even scheduled for the event. Nevertheless, the opening match of the pay-per-view was a match of the year contender, as Dolph Ziggler collided with the late great Luke Harper. Ziggler and Harper faced off in a ladder match for the IC title, and the match was critically acclaimed by fans. The match had some tremendous high-risk spots, and the much larger Harper seemed to think he was a cruiserweight in the match with some of the aerial maneuvers he was able to execute. The match highlighted just how great Harper was as an in-ring talent, and some WWE fans may argue that this specific match was Harper's finest work during his time in WWE. Number 7, WrestleMania 10. Now, there have been some unbelievable opening matches that have opened WrestleMania, but the opening contest of WrestleMania 10 was truly a match for the ages. Bret and Owen Hart would collide, and the match was without question not just the best in-ring match of the entire pay-per-view, but one of the greatest matches in WrestleMania history. The match couldn't have been booked any better as Owen secured the win, showing everyone that he was just as good as his brother. Bret would ultimately go on to win the WWE title in the main event where he defeated Yokozuna, so it was a fine night
This same
for the
night?
family. The pay-per-view did have some other highlights, such as Shawn Michaels colliding with
that was the
Razor Ramon
first.
in the ladder match.
That was the match. The
opening
first
match
ever,
between Bret
first ever
and
ladder
Owen
match.
certainly set the template on how to
Came.
open the
The first
biggest
pay-per-view
show of
that the
year.
ladder match was
Number
on
6,
ever in.
Bragging Rights 2010. The 2010 Bragging Rights pay-per-view had some of the biggest names in WWE history featured on the card. Names such as The Undertaker, Randy Orton, Edge, and John Cena.
They never even
all
followed
involved
up
in
with
the event.
the Nexus and
opening match
Undertaker.
between Dolph Ziggler and Daniel Bryan, which left a lasting impression on fans. This match would be the Intercontinental Champion versus the US Champion in a special interpromotional matchup, and the match was nothing like anything else on the card. It was fast-paced and much more inclined to
That's
a match
Vicky.
seen on the independent scene at the time, rather than a traditional WWE matchup. It was excellent stuff from two talents who would go on to win WWE's top prize, and it just highlighted how both men were ready for the main event scene in WWE. Number 5, WrestleMania 33. WrestleMania 33 was one of the longest pay-per-view events WWE have
that
ever
match was
delivered.
pretty good.
The main show of the event was over 5 hours in length, and as a consequence, a lot of the action in the later half of the pay-per-view was forgettable due to the crowd, as well as viewers watching at home being completely exhausted.
Half of this shit I don't
Matches
even
such as
remember.
Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt and the main
This
event
2017
showdown between
though, I
Roman Reigns
remember that.
versus The Undertaker all fell flat due to the in-ring action failing to excite a fatigued
Yeah, this 2017.
audience.
This when the
Without
hardest
a doubt,
came back.
WrestleMania 33 peaked with its opening match as Shane McMahon took on AJ Styles. This match was so fun and McMahon and AJ worked really well together. The match was smartly booked and McMahon was able to hold his own against a former champion. Fans expected a great match between the two, especially because it involved AJ, but fans certainly didn't expect the match to be a defined highlight to WWE standout
This one of
event.
Shane's big
Number
best
4,
matches.
Hell in a Cell 2013. It's well established that
19.
the worst match of 2019 and perhaps the worst Hell in a Cell match of all time was The Fiend vs Seth Rollins. However, the match that opened that same pay-per-view was arguably the finest women's Hell in a Cell match in the company history.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch faced off against Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's title, and the match exceeded all expectations.
That was a
The
good
two
match,
Rage
too.
women clearly had the intention of stealing the show and creating a memorable Hell in a
That was
Cell
2019.
match.
I remember watching that
Forever.
pay-per-view.
The only downside Lynch
In that
impacted
match.
his time in Hell in a Cell was that the pay-per-view had ultimately peaked with the first match, meaning every match that came after it.
I remember that. I definitely remember that.
Classic matchup. Number 3, Battleground 2017.
That match right there was good.
The 2017 Battleground pay-per-view
That was
panned
2017?
by fans, as well as
Damn.
wrestling journalists such as Dave Meltzer. The pay-per-view
That was
seemed to represent
2017, y'all.
that wasn't working about the SmackDown
Shit.
product at the time.
Time
The
flying.
pay-per-view stood out for all the wrong reasons. The main event of the show saw Jinder Mahal retain his WWE title against Randy Orton in a truly awful Punjabi prison match. Matches that should have been strong pay-per-view encounters such as AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens and Cena versus Rusev fell completely flat, and nothing on the pay-per-view was seemingly able to connect with fans. That is with one exception. The pay-per-view kicked off with a match for the SmackDown tag titles as the New Day took on the Usos. This match was truly special, and it showcased just how well the two beloved tag teams worked together. The two teams incorporated storytelling combined with some of the finest in-ring action to steal the show. The match was so appreciated by fans that they claimed after the show on social media that the match should have been the main event, and it remains hard to disagree with this sentiment. Number 2, Backlash 2018. Former WWE Champion The Miz is often criticized for not being great in the ring, but at Backlash 2018,
Miz can hold his own.
The Miz proved his critics wrong, as he delivered a performance of a lifetime against Seth Rollins. The two would face off in the opening contest of the pay-per-view for the Intercontinental title, and it was such a surprise to see such a stellar match unfold. The two just instantly clicked, and The Miz seemed motivated and hungry to deliver an absolute classic. It's hard to disagree with the claims that this was The Miz's greatest match, as it was certainly one of his finest outings. The rest of the pay-per-view was incredibly disappointing, with nothing noteworthy happening. The main event of the show saw Samoa Joe take on Roman Reigns. This match was met with profanity-fueled chants as well as chants for wrestlers that weren't even WWE at the time. Thankfully, the pay-per-view match card had The Miz vs Rollins, or else that pay-per-view could have been a serious contender for one of the worst events of the PG era.
Damn.
And number 1, the Royal Rumble 2014.
There's the pay-per-view.
After
No,
the
that's next
first
year.
30 minutes of the 2014 Royal Rumble pay-per-view had taken place, fans were under the
I didn't
impression
see
that
this
the pay-per-view
pay-per-view.
could be an all-time classic. Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt had just collided in the opening contest, and the match was outstanding, and it was a standout match in both men's respective careers. Once the match had taken place, the pay-per-view just seemed to fall apart. Cena vs Orton's title match was met with disdain from fans who had no interest in seeing the match for what seemed like the 100th time. The actual Rumble match was insanely controversial and saw the final WWE appearance of CM Punk as he left WWE the very next day.
Yep.
The match saw fans turn on everyone in the match as he refused to put on immensely popular Daniel Bryan in the Rumble.
won in the Royal Rumble.
Batista won the match, the fans outright
booed the hell out of
rejected
Batista.
WWE's creative vision to make Batista the top babyface in the company. Ultimately, the pay-per-view became synonymous with the trend of WWE refusing to listen to the fans and making major booking decisions that fans simply had no desire in seeing. But there you have it, folks. 10 WWE pay-per-views that peaked with the opening man.
Alright, y'all, great video, man. Let me know down below in the comments of what y'all thought of my reaction to this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. I'm out. Peace.